We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Thanks, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Gray Lives on the Rise. Hey, I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and I am so honored to have Osunnike. She is one of my Reiki masters. She is amazing. Okay, do you hear me? Capital AMAZING exclamation mark. And you know, if I say she's amazing, you know she's amazing. Okay, so anyway, before we get started, I just want to welcome you again to another episode of Gray Lives on the Rise. And this is our 81st episode. Can you believe it? So let me just give you some background information. About 2.5 years ago, I was walking. I love to walk. And I was walking. And then this download came into my crown chakra, and it said, there's nothing out there that addresses the needs of people in your demographic. I said, well, okay. 50 plus. I said, okay, except AARP and Medicare. And I thought about it. I was just walking. I said, yeah, that's true. The information started flooding my consciousness. Mm-hmm. It stated basically you need to have people read language, how they view themselves. They need to have something that they can relate to in terms of a physical item, and you need to have a podcast. So here we are. The name was Gray Lives on the Rise. At first I thought about Gray Lives Matter. I said, no, that's too cliche-ish. Let me be different and avant-garde. So Gray Lives on the Rise came about, and I was like, yeah, I like that. You don't have to have hair. You can have gray hair, black hair, wigs. It doesn't matter. It's consciousness. And then I said, on the rise, we're on the upswing. We're not going down. And then I said, we have to start looking at how we refer to ourselves. We're not old. We're not elderly. We're not seniors. Really, we are vibrant, golden, mature, seasoned, and on the move. So I was like, okay, I like that. Then the next thing that came to me was, you need to have a store. They need to have something that's tangible, that they can relate to. And so therefore we have our store, Gray Lives on the Rise store, which sells our t-shirts, our hoodies, mats, you name it, we have it in the store. And you see how beautiful, again, it looks, yeah, with the t-shirt, and they come in all colors. And then the last thing was, you need to have a podcast. And I said, yeah, because people who are 50 plus, we have different concerns than people who are 20, 30, and even 40. Most of us at this stage have grandkids. The children hopefully out of the house. The grandchildren are out of the house. And we're living our best lives. So our issues are not the same as someone who is a lot younger. So I talk to people around the world. This is a global podcast. Okay, I've had people on from Serbia, which is in Eastern Europe, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Haiti, the Philippines, Costa Rica, South Africa, the UK, and America. Right? So, and everyone was saying the same thing. It was like, look, Jamila, when you turn 50, people tend to dismiss you. I said, it's true. You can be 49 and you're relevant. Next day, you're 50 and they start gaslighting you. You're like, what? And the irony is that their bosses are 50 plus. So I said, we don't need to beg people for crumbs at their table. Let's have our own table and invite them if we want to. you know. So that's what we do. We have these wonderful conversations that talk about issues that relate to us primarily, and people who are younger can definitely listen in, but these are issues that are affecting us. So we're going to get right into it with my beautiful, beautiful guest and mentor and Reiki master, Osunnike, after I do this other infomercial. You know, I have to pay the bills, right? So my company pays the bills, Jamila Sense. And this is my number one product, which is Peace Be Still. It is amazing. All you do is everything I do is I create. My services, my products come from me. You see how transparent this is? Put 3 drops in and you rub your hands together. No chemicals, no food colorings, no additives, nothing except lavender, lemongrass, and geranium, and a base of grape seed oil. And you, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. I'm in Nirvana, right? And you rub this on your arms, and you know it gets rid of flies and mosquitoes. It gets rid of stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, hyperactivity within children, sinus congestion, sinus headaches, migraine headaches. It does everything but brush your teeth, okay? And it's 100% natural. You don't have to worry about any additives, and it's not going to interfere with any medications if you're taking medications because it's all natural. So now, and my background is I'm college professor of psychology, a certified Reiki master, certified aromatherapist, a certified metaphysician, an energy practitioner, quantum physics practitioner, and I do a lot of different things, but it's not about me. What I want you to do today is go to our website to find out more about Great Lives on the Rise, which is my latest baby. The website is oyendeenterprises.com, and that is spelled Oyinde Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com. Go to the website, and if you're interested in being a guest speaker on my podcast, click on Great Lives on the Rise, and you will see it, and the information is there about our podcast and how you can become a speaker. So now, having said all that, rather than having it in the middle of a podcast like some people do, you're in the flow, and then all of a sudden they break up the flow with an infomercial. No, that throws off your train of thought. Right? No, we don't do it like that. We're very creative. Okay, I'm going to give you wonderful information about my beloved sister. Queen Mother Osunnike Anke is a spiritual midwife, priestess of the Goddess Osun, psychospiritual therapist, energy and sound healer, best-selling author, co-founder and president of the Institute of Whole Life Healing, a nonprofit organization designed to assist individuals and groups in remembering their original greatness, life's purpose, and divinity. And she does do that. She does that extremely well. And we go back to Boston. So I'm living in Atlanta now, and she's in Kentucky. So years, okay.
Years.
In alignment with her life's purpose and inner knowing, she was also called to birth 1 million wombs united, a universal mission uniquely designed to reignite the sacred feminine, luminosity within the wombs of a critical mass of consciously evolving, empowered women. And that is so wonderful. Can you think about the womb being luminous? The light, the light. I love that. For over 30 years, she has spiritually midwifed hundreds of chosen women to re-embody their sacred feminine power, reignite their womb blueprint, and reawaken the ancient wisdom that lays dormant within their sacred wombs. She knows that as healed, whole, liberated, and united women, we have the innate power to consciously contribute to co-creating and rebirthing a new world. As Queen Mother Osunnike has traversed the universe from Peru to Africa, she effortlessly encircles people in their magically woven tapestry of love, grace, and spiritual truth while healing hearts and wombs. This is so wonderful. And I bring to you my beloved sister, Reiki master, mentor, mother. Just I don't have the words to describe this person. She's one of the few people on this planet who could check me. I'm just saying. Because I listen to people whom I feel have the spiritual integrity, wisdom, love, compassion, and will sit me down to enlighten me. And it's not that there aren't other people who can share their wisdom. There are, and I've learned from people who have been younger, my age and older. But this sister here saw me in my infancy spiritually and brought me out in terms of being a Reiki master in all of my healing abilities. Because I had a lot of abilities, prior to our meeting, but then what she did is she took me on to another journey to really enhance what I already had and knew. So I was so pleased when we reconnected recently, because we had not talked in about 15 years. Yeah. We both moved from Boston. And I remember, I'm going to tell a short story. When I was moving out of Boston, Boston had 20 snowstorms, and I was determined to get on that flight. I said, with my cat, I said, if I have to spend the night in a hotel, not a hotel, but in the airport, I'm going to do it. She came over along with my other Reiki master, Babakaya, and they set me off with this beautiful reception that was way out, and it was freezing. It was like 8 degrees. A group of people met, and she was one of the people that came to my farewell going away celebration. And I truly, truly appreciate that. And then she came and visited me again before I got onto the plane. So these are small snapshots of my memory of her. And I've always been able to call on her, and she's always welcomed me with open arms. So I'm so glad we reunited. If I get a little teary, which is kind of uncommon for me on air, but if I do, that's why. Thank you, my beloved sister. I am so happy.
Thank you. Yes.
I am so happy. And I'm just so impressed. I'm so glad that we reconnected, because I know of some sisters of different ages who definitely can really benefit from your services and your initiations. And I love this. Your goal is to heal 100 million wombs, because that's how life begins, in the womb. And what's happening now is people don't remember the mother, the spiritual mother.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing is so wonderful, is you're having young women remember who they are, and not be denigrated and allow people to denigrate them, especially Black women. There's this war against Black women, and we're the original mothers, which is crazy. So, and I think this is really good, because you're taking the veil off their consciousness and having them remember, as Aset says, remember who
Yes.
they are. Remember, put the members back together, right?
Put it back together.
Put it back together. So let's start with how you entered this journey. I know how, but I want you to share it with people.
Ooh, back down memory lane.
Yay!
Yeah. Well, I would say consciously, this took place about began taking place consciously about 35 years ago. And I started having some really incredible experiential things that were taking place for me. And I didn't understand what was going on. And you mentioned Baba Kaya. Um, he was doing a energy healing session for me. And during one of our sessions, all of a sudden, the universe just opened up, and I started getting these messages, seeing myself as a cellular being, not in the physical form. It was amazing. And I also started hearing these voices afterwards speaking to me, but they were almost like whispers, but they were roaring kind of whispers. And eventually, I began to hear what I then found out were the ancient mothers
Mm.
coming from the cosmic womb of existence, of all knowingness, that were asking me, do I remember who I am?
Mm.
And, at first I thought, oh, am I going to have to, check myself into some kind of psychiatric ward? What's going on here? um, However, then I said, no, let me just be quiet and listen. And things started being unveiled and revealed. And I began remembering my ancient knowing
Mm.
that was just phenomenal, and listening, and everything started evolving from then.
Mm. Well, I think that you did an outstanding job in terms of listening because you have helped so many people around the globe,
Hmm.
and two people in particular whose name I mentioned to you before, and you helped so many people you were not able to remember them exactly, but you've helped so many people. And how did Reiki come into your life?
Wow. Well, that was pretty amazing. I was at a restaurant and in the Black community having some lunch, and I happened to look on the wall, and there was a flyer on the wall talking about this Reiki sessions and retreats and what have you. And that felt familiar to me, even though I had not heard that word before. But I was like, okay, what's this about? So I reached out, spoke to this woman, and she said, yes, we need to meet. And I went to her home, and to my surprise, she was not the same color as we are, which surprised me because I found this flyer in a Black restaurant. However, she immediately started reading me and telling me about me and where I was being called. And it was phenomenal. And she was one of the most incredible channelers, um, clairvoyants, Reiki masters that I've met even since. And that was the beginning of the journey. And she said, and she even said to me, do you know who you are? And I thought, oh, that's what those voices have been saying to me. Uh-oh. No, but I'm listening. I'm listening. And so that's where it began. And it was such a gift working with her. She took me into the higher realms of me and showed me how to support others in going into the higher realms of them, like you.
Yeah, and I am so grateful to her and definitely to you because again, you listened to the voices that was summoning you. The other thing is, how did you step into the Yoruba tradition of Ifa? How did that happen?
Ah, another very interesting part of the journey. I had been really blessed to start learning about African spirituality from a Cuban standpoint. A close friend of mine um, uh, introduced me to a priest, a santero, in the Santeria tradition. This was back in Boston in the day, and my life was an absolute mess. And he was a close friend, like brother of mine, and he said, "You need to go and see this priest." And I'm like, "A priest? What are you talking about?" Actually, at the time, I was chanting Buddhism, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo,
So,
and
yeah.
trying to get it together. But anyway, I said, okay. And another person that just really changed and transformed my life. And I was with him in that tradition for about 5 years. And then someone introduced me to um, a phenomenal high priest, Awo Babalao, one day Abimbola from Nigeria, who was coming into Boston and doing special um, workshops and what have you. And again, I was told that he was the next one that I was to work with. And I started learning about Ifa, my Orisha, went to Nigeria, um, and was initiated there 31 years ago. So,
Wow, that is so amazing. So,
yes.
in terms of your amazing and very diverse journey into the different realms of spirituality, how were you received? And we really don't care, but I'm just asking this question for other folk who do care about this, because you and I don't care. How were you received by your friends and your family? Because I know I was in Boston. I lived in Boston for 20 years, and that's where we
Hmm.
met.
Hmm.
And Boston can be very interesting.
Hmm.
A lot of people are Catholic and they're into
Hmm.
traditional religions there. So as well as in other places too, but Boston is very interesting. How did your family receive you? Did they think, oh my gosh, she's gone off the ledge?
Yeah, yeah. Well, my mother thought that primarily. She was the main one because I grew up in a Christian family, Pentecostal, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you remember this or not. Um, our church, or their church, was actually in our house.
Yeah.
So my mother was not happy about any of the spiritual traditions that I was exploring at the time. And I was trying to let her know that I was still on a spiritual path, not necessarily the same path that she was on. Um, but at the time, she just didn't get it, and was very upset about it. However, something that prayerfully it will not have me start woohooing, boohooing right now. I found out at her homegoing service when she transitioned, and I went back to Boston for that service. And afterwards, the different people were coming up. They remembered me from when I was knee high to a duck. That's what, the older ones would say to the younger ones when they would see them again. And she said to me, "Oh, it is so good to see you. And your mother loved you so much." And I said, "Oh, yes, I know." And she said, "And you're a priestess?" I just started sobbing.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, my mother finally accepted that and told someone else that. She never discussed that with me. She was always telling me, you know, to make sure that I'm praying to the Lord and this, that, and the other. So I guess the Lord, Orisha, Buddha, however you refer to it, my belief is many paths, one truth.
Yeah.
Shared that with her before she transitioned, and she said, "Oh, okay, all right, priestess, missionary, okay, all right, I get it."
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the people that come to you, because I know you've traveled the world,
Hmm.
and the two people I know that have mentioned your name very fondly and respectfully, one lives in California and one lives in Ohio. So your clients find you how?
Another good question. Um, so again, been doing this work forever, and I would say that the 80% of the clients that I have worked with over the years have found me through word of mouth.
Mm.
Um, then there are maybe 5% who, have Googled me. And I had one woman years ago who told me that she got a message that she needed to reach out to me when she was on an airplane, and she looked out the window and saw this deity, and she actually scared me a little bit. It's like, all right, is she someone that would be good for me to? Not quite sure, but anyway, it turned out wonderful. So now I have, websites and what have you, little bit of social media. However, I would still say it's about 80% that is word of mouth, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And since we've talked about how they connect with you, right here in the middle of our discussion, please give them the way that they can connect with you, your contact information.
Okay. They can go to, there's three different websites. One is Osunnike, Osunnike, Anke, ANKE.com. The other is 1millionwombsunited.org, and one ONE. And then finally, many paths, one, the number one, truth.org.
Okay, many paths,
One truth,
the number one.
the number one, truth.org.
Okay, okay. That's amazing. And so people, you see people virtually as well as in person?
Yes, yes.
Mhm. So people can get in touch with you from around the world. Like I said, these two people, because you're now living in Kentucky, these two people do not live close by.
Hmm.
So they were clients. So let's talk about the different kinds of treatments and retreats and things that you have
Hmm.
coming up, and what you what you do within your sessions with the women, and then the retreats and any
Okay,
books or publications that you may have.
okay. So, what I start out doing is what I call a spiritual intuitive reading and or guidance. And once I have permission from the person, I am able to tap into their energy field and see what the messages are for them. If there are particular blockages, challenges that they may not consciously know about or may know about and are struggling to resolve. And I share that with them. Also, if they have spirit guides and or ancestors who are, looking to give them some guidance.
Mhm.
In addition to my spiritual intuitive checking in, I will also use the Ifa Oracle and or the Metunetu um, Kemetic oracle system to verify certain things. Once that is done, and then share with them how to begin um, reweaving what I refer to as the tapestry of their soul,
Mhm.
and bringing that into alignment. Once we discuss that, we can then go into um, what often is referred to on the mat. So, physical, hands on, sound healing. And when we went through COVID, and also people from, different parts of the country and the world, I realized that, oh, I can do this via Zoom as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to just be in person. Sending that energy, tuning into them to begin to reignite the sacred um, essence of who they truly are
Mhm.
within them. Reignite that, reactivate that, and heal and cleanse and purify and release that is no longer serving them. And using light language, sound frequencies, um, different types, forms of energies. Um, yeah, and it's powerful and humbling all at the same time because I'm allowing this to come through me. So it's not like I'm telling you this, that, and the other. No, 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 no. I'm listening, and my higher self is listening to your higher self as well and sharing that.
And I have experienced this. I experienced it in the early days of your evolution, and it was powerful. You used to have to wake me up because I would go out. Jamila, where am
Yes,
I?
yes. I remember, I remember.
I was like, why did she wake me up? I was in the ethers enjoying myself.
Yes, yes,
Having,
yes,
not a cappuccino because I don't drink caffeine, but hot cocoa. I was having a
yes,
good time. So, oh
yes.
my goodness.
I remember those
Yeah.
days.
Oh yeah. I was out and always felt refreshed. So for those of you who would definitely be inquisitive or would like to know more, I'm a living testament that her services got me to the place to where I was able to open up more because like I said, I had these gifts and I knew I had these gifts, but Osunnike was able to have me really embrace all of who I was. And I was fortunate in that my mom never said that I was crazy when I would give her messages because a lot of my friends' parents told, oh, you're crazy. You don't see people. So my mom never did that, but Osunnike took me to the next level. And it's like energetic psychotherapy, energetic massage, energetic everything. You would never be the same, and you feel so invigorated after having a session with her. She's exceptional.
Thank you
She,
so much. And you know something, Jamila? I remember, can I share a quick story?
sure.
Okay. I remember, how powerful and tuned in you were, and how you were developing that even more and more and more. And you may not remember this. However, when these energies were really, really, really coming through, and one in particular that was guiding me in terms of the womb work, and I didn't know how to handle this and what have you. And I called together a select group of my sister colleagues and friends, and you were one of them. And you all came to my office, and I was calling upon you all to support me in tapping into these energies. And so you all were sitting in a circle, and I stood up and I said, so thank you for coming. This is what we're going to be doing today. I want to make sure that, and you said, really? Really? You're going to tell us what the day is supposed to look like? You need to be quiet and receive. And I was getting ready to say something back to you, and all of a sudden I fell down. You may not remember this, and you all did amazing, amazing things for me. And when I finally came to, um,
I
uh,
remember that. I remember. Yeah.
I was in this circle, and you all talked about how I was going and laying hands on your wombs and speaking this language and all of these things, which I had no recollection of. And I thank you so much because, it was like you telling me, humble yourself, surrender, stop trying to control the show. And Spirit said, and the ancient mothers were like, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get this show on the road.
I remember you passing. I remember. I remember.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. So thank
That's
you. Thank you.
yeah. You're so welcome. Thank you for all the different sessions that I had with you. And so I would like for the people in the audience. So do you work with men as well as women, or is your focus primarily on women?
Oh, I work with men as well. Um, Primarily women. However, I'm there for the men to support them in really tapping into their divine masculine energy and knowing. And that was something that my husband did, who has since transitioned. However, that was his primary focus, was working with the men. And so we worked together in harmony. And now I am here to support these men as well.
Mhm, mhm. Have you, I know you have, but this is a rhetorical question. What do you do with people who are resistant in the beginning? They come to you for the help, but then they start struggling with you throughout the process. Because
Mhm,
I know how you handle them, but I would like for you to share with people
mhm,
because people
mhm.
come because the ancestors are coaxing them to come. And then they get there and they decide, like the former uh, part of you, that they are going to control the show and tell you how this should go.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things is number one, creating a very safe space.
Yeah.
Um, I've had a lot of people that come, like you said, and they want to control things. They want to tell me what's happening, this, that, and the other. Even their body language, is.
Hmm.
And so, one of the things that I do is create a really safe space so that they can breathe and relax. And that's one of the things starting out, helping them to really get in touch with their breath and listen a little more deeply to what their body is saying to them and why it might be saying it to them. And
Hmm.
then oftentimes I will use, as a part of the healing arts, psychodrama. So rather than psychotherapy, psychodrama, um, where they get to commune with the different parts of themselves and play with that,
Hmm.
without judgment.
Hmm.
And see, oh, okay, this is who this let me tell you a thing or two is really about. This might be your little person
Yeah.
that used to get bullied all the time,
Yeah.
and now you have to defend yourself, and that's the one that's still trying to run the show. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Well, I've seen I've seen your work in action. I think it's really, really powerful. So with all the chaos that's going on today in the world, which is which is soon going to end. People think it's forever, but it's not. It had to rise up so we could transmute the energy. How, what is the message that you in within your retreats and private sessions that you would like to have people know so that they could embody that message to help
Hmm.
heal the planet?
Hmm. Well, for one thing, that we have to really reconnect on all levels with the planet.
Yes,
Not the people of the planet, this, that, and the other.
yes,
The energy of the planet, all of the
yes,
elemental forces of the planet. We have to
yes,
come into union because the planet is shifting. That's what the planet
yes.
does. The planet is shifting.
Hmm.
It's transforming. It's transmuting.
Yeah,
And we have to see, are we going to transmute in the healthiest ways possible with it? Because whether we are consciously supporting this next journey of the universe or not, it's going to happen. And so that
very
gets
true.
back to that remembrance and reconnecting with we are one with all, and not getting caught up in just the trauma and the drama that's going on, because that is also very distracting.
Hmm.
So when we're caught up in that and not realizing and tapping into the true message of who
Yeah.
we are, then we contribute to the lower vibrations and the lower frequencies that keep us from ascending. So, being in
Very
that state of gratitude on a regular basis of, oh, I am so grateful for my resilience. I am so grateful for my strength. I am so grateful that I can be a supportive resource for this evolution of humanity. I am so grateful. Then those are the things that we attract and draw to us: a like minded community, a like minded tribe, the resources that we need and can benefit from to take
true.
us higher. So,
That is so, so true. So gratitude is the
mhm.
most powerful
uh,
energy
yes,
that we can exude. It love comes after that. People think it's love, it's gratitude, because those things that you're grateful for will bring loving situations into your life.
hmm.
And particularly at this time, people are so caught up with the illusion. That's a different podcast, people. I'm not gonna go deeply with this, but with the illusion of what's going on.
Hmm.
And we can, like Osunnike has said, you can transform your life with gratitude. The
Hmm.
more you show gratitude for, if it's just the ability to be able to see. If you say, well, I don't know how I can be grateful for something because I can't pay my rent, I'm in an abusive relationship, and all these things, and we keep saying those things that are not uplifting. I don't like to use the word
Hmm.
good and bad because it's not good and bad.
Hmm.
That's relative. It's
Right.
uh, low vibrational and high vibrational. Those are words
Hmm.
I use.
Hmm.
So the more we talk about the things that we desire, the more the ancestors and the creators and the um, all of the beings of light are going to bring that to you.
Hmm.
And I know there's some people who are just so downtrodden, they just feel like there's nothing that they can be grateful for, but you have your life
Yes.
and you have
Yes.
your breath. As
Absolutely.
long as you have your life, things can change. And
Hmm.
by talking, please call or contact my dear sister, Osunnike. She's excellent, excellent in helping you revision your life, because sometimes the people around you are so toxic. Yeah, girl, I don't see anything positive either. You need to get Shanae out of your life. Okay.
Absolutely.
Real clear.
Absolutely.
You're real clear. Shanae is not helping the situation. She's telling you how
Not at
miserable
all.
life is.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what we think are our support systems and our support
yes,
teams that
yes,
are
yes.
agreeing with you about this, that, and the other. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that we're agreeing to be pissed off,
And
and
how
and
miserable we
more
could be.
right,
Yeah.
and more pistivity creates more pistivity. So
right. So you have a whole group of sisters in a sister circle celebrating festivity, right?
But exactly,
It's stuff,
exactly.
right? It's so true. It's so true. So if you are, and I heard this years ago, if you are the most enlightened person in your circle is too small. If you are it, you need to expand. And the person
Yes.
who challenges you the most, because I have some clients who get so angry with me, they love me in the beginning. And then I say, okay, I know, do not take my picture and throw darts because I can feel it. I can feel those darts on my picture because you're angry because I'm
Yes.
pushing the envelope. But that's my
Yes.
job. I'm not
Yes.
here to just sit here and hold your hand all the time
Mm-hmm.
because that's no growth. So
Right.
what Osunnike does, she is so amazing. And she has a warm, because I've experienced that warm, nurturing, sisterly love, auntie love, motherly love, no judgment to meet you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I implore you to get in touch with her because
Thank you.
we need to have someone who is of the light, who is positive, showing us how wonderful we are as beings on this planet, spiritual beings first, and human beings.
Spiritual beings. Yes.
Yeah, we're in these vessels, but she can show you how beautiful you are and how wonderful you are. Because sometimes, because of the trauma, we lose sight of that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we attract to us people who are struggling. And so we feel like we're drowning. You need to reach outside of your circle and contact Osunnike. And you can tell from her energy, she's just amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we have reconnected.
Yay! 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 So what would you like to leave with our audience? One message. You've left several wonderful pearls and nuggets, but what else would you like to leave with them?
Speaking of the pearls and nuggets,
Oh, and your
uh,
retreats too. Any
oh,
retreats or books,
yes.
please.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I finally had my memoir completed in 2024. It is Tapestry of My Soul, Rebirthing the Sacred Sexual Feminine Mysteries. And yes, and it is now in audiobook form as well. And it's on Amazon. I host a couple of times a year the Sacred Sexual Igniter weekends. I will have one coming up this fall for women. And um, one of the nuggets that I want to share is that sometimes we're looking outside of ourselves for our greatness, our richness, our value, our treasures. And those treasures are within us. And for the sacred feminine, those treasures within the womb, within our heart, within our intuitive knowing, when we are able to bring those into alignment and step into the truth and the fullness of who we are, then we are able to consciously rebirth a new world. That is what's happening. And are we going to come together as these consciously empowered, evolving women to rebirth a new world with the treasures that are within us? So,
That's so powerful. You see why I love this woman, my sister, okay? Yeah. And you can have a little piece of her, but you can't have all of her, okay? You have a little piece. So feel free to get in touch with her and attend the retreat and definitely get her book on Amazon, her audio book on
yes.
Amazon. You see how comforting her voice is just calm and composed. It'll allow you to sleep and love. It would take you out of your zone of anxiety and stress and worry. She does that effortlessly. So definitely get in touch with my sister, get in touch with her soon. Circulate this podcast to other people who need to hear it, women as well as men who need to hear it, because it's time for us to heal. To heal
Yes.
this planet, because Mother Earth, Gaia is saying, you know what, I'm going to shake these folk off like fleas. They're like fleas on a dog. They are worrisome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
I'm getting rid of them. I've tried to tell them not to do this climate change and not to do all
Right.
this other crazy
All
stuff.
this stuff. They
Yeah.
refuse to listen.
And they refuse to listen. I sent them COVID and they didn't listen then to keep them inside. The
That's right.
animals that they had in cage, the caged animals were free and we were locked up in the house. I said,
Exactly.
look at the irony. So my sister can take you through this. She's wonderful. She's an excellent storyteller. I remember how she tells these stories and yarns. I mean, you just sit there and say, "Oh, wow, wow, she's amazing." I
Thank
can't.
you so much, Jamila. And thank you so much for continuing your work and bringing this to the world. We need this. We need this. So
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And I'll be getting my orders, especially for that liquid that you showed. Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And thank you so much for joining us. And hit like and subscribe so you would never miss an episode of Gray Lives on the Rise. And remember to go to the website to get your own t-shirt and hoodie and mug and mat, floor mat, you name it, we have it. Okay.
Wonderful.
So we're out there showing people that 50 plus people are alive, well, seasoned, vibrant, and we're changing the world. Okay. Until next time, beloveds, know that I love you, and please stay safe and continue to be grateful and to share love. Okay. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Sense, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Sense is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.